So next we are going to have our sample Shark Tank. So to explain how it works and to introduce our esteemed panel of judges, I would like to invite Mr. Matt Dusig to the stage.
1 second. So we are the Shark Tank. This is the most informal session of the day. Hopefully we don't talk about quality or fraud or long surveys or mobile. Well, we'll see what the contestants come up here and talk about. But what I do have in my pocket is $500 in cash. And it wasn't bent before it got in my pocket, so sorry. They were fresh and crisp, Rachel. I know. So Rachel said, okay, do you want to sponsor the Shark Tank? I thought, our company name is Innovate. I'm Matt Dusig with Innovate. The Shark Tank and investments is all about innovation, and it kind of makes sense that we should also be a sponsor. And then I said to Rachel, but can I say to someone like, you're dead to me? And she's like, no, you can't say that. That would be mean. And then I was like, well, can I call someone a cockroach? And she's like, no, you can't call anyone a cockroach. You have to be somewhat, business professional. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and do that. So, okay, enough with the jokes.
I'm laughing.
Okay, good, thank you. We're really winging this. This is super informal. So what's going to happen is our contestants are going to come up here. They're going to pitch their ideas. We are going to throw questions at them, and then we will score them. The next one will come up. Same thing will happen. And then we will convene on the side, tabulate the scores, and announce the winner right when we're done. So just as by way of introduction, I'm Matt Dusig, co-founder of Innovate, and I've been in sampling for almost 20 years. And I'm excited about this because I personally have invested in a number of market research-related businesses like GutCheck, Remesh, Servata, and so it's exciting to see people come up here with ideas. Now the weird part, which other people have noticed, is that typically on the Shark Tank, you're not getting up and presenting to your competitors and telling them all your new great ideas. So now, hopefully we won't all just steal everyone's ideas and go do them ourselves. But we're excited to have them. So Katie with Cint.
Yes, I'm Katie Gross. I'm SVP of Sales for Cint Americas, and I've been in the sample world since 2008.
Paul Janowitz, CEO and founder of I Can Make It Better. We buy a lot of sample. We're a community provider, but similar to Matt, have been on the investment side, and we've been on the acquisition side as well. So interested to see what we have up here to invest or buy.
Jonathan Deitch, Chief Revenue Officer for P2 Sample. I started doing online research with a little company called MyPoints in 1998. Been in research for about 23, dear God, years. Delighted to be here.
So
we both had long hair when we started.
You both did.
As well.
So I was going to say I wanted to be Mr. Wonderful, but you both have a little bit more of the look of Mr. Wonderful, so maybe we...
I'm just glad that I don't have to be the jerk on the panel and you're going to be the one calling people cockroaches.
I am, okay. And you get to be Laurie Grenier.
Absolutely, but it's called Dragon's Den in the UK.
Oh, Dragon's Den.
Yeah, small fact.
Okay, so it's the Dragon Tank now. Okay.
Sounds more sophisticated.
All right. So I think we're ready.
Let's get the show on the road.
Let's do this.
Cockroach.
Cockroach one.
Is that two? Oh wait, we wait for that?
Yeah, we wait for that. You got to give them a chance to at least say something.
You can't just jump out and call them a cockroach. You got to wait till their idea sucks. And then...
Is this thing working? Okay. So I guess we'll start.
Please.
So first, yes, you can be harsh with us, please. We have a little bit of an agenda here. We'll first do a quick introduction of the actual problem that we're hoping to solve, then run into our solution. We're going to divide it up a little bit into the business side and some of the tech side behind it. So first, we're really interested in this $500. Dilip may not be able to make the flight back. Yeah. So regardless of our idea, please vote for us. Okay, so I'll start off with the business challenge. I think we're all here and we're all trying to solve problems, but between business and tech, raise your hand if you think you're more business. Okay, raise your hand if you think you're more tech. So we have some tech people here, but majority business. The challenge is that a lot of business people are making a lot of tech decisions without necessarily taking in as much of the tech perspective as they should. We have SampleCon, very good, but we still have a lot of challenges in their business side implementations of what is underlying a tech problem. So I think that's the challenge. We keep coming together with multiple solutions to single problems, such extreme fragmentations of what should be relatively simple. So that's the challenge.
Yeah, so on the technical side, when we talk about the APIs, I mean, I think industry has just started adopting it or almost there, but there is a slight change we propose in this whole API pragmatic approach from pull to push, okay? So like everybody has a mobile phone and you get push notification. You don't go and ask, okay, what's the new notification? When there is something to notify, they push to your phone and you know it, okay? What happens as is the API endpoints are connecting and suppliers and other guys just keep constantly, like every 15 minutes, look out. If there is something, give me, scan if I have the necessary information or not. It's unnecessary because what you're doing, you're consuming your resources going after every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, depends what's the poll time, and maybe you just don't find any change, you know, you're just wasting your compute fundamentally. That's the problem. And the second thing is, because the whole industry, the API itself is running on a pull mechanism, like pull the data from this endpoint, that means there is a delay. We talk and we try, okay, almost near-time quotas and everything should sync and this and that, but fundamentally, if you are doing a polling, you cannot talk about real time because polling has a delay, okay? So that's the problem part of it. It's working nice, great, but if we, from the industry level, if you really wanted to scale up, we gotta follow some technology side best practices. So tomorrow we can scale better and we can achieve what we actually, you know, everybody wish to achieve. And that's where the thing is changing the APIs from pull to push. So that's the problem part. The solution could be, yes, we just need one standardization, some sort of, you know, I don't know, technical council who agrees on some standard. Like, if I am a client and I have API endpoints, I'm gonna follow certain X standards, and I will tell, hey, there is a new survey, and the supplier just subscribes to this endpoint, and they get to know, just like push notifications. So supplier don't have to go and poll every 15 minutes. Hey, do you have something for me? Do you have something for me? It doesn't make sense, because when there will be something, survey created, survey changed, qualification created, qualification changed, quota created, quota sent. This will truly bring us to the real-time syncing, which automatically improve the quality, because there will be almost no quota full and stuff like that. So you will save a lot of traffic there. You don't have to use your compute and burn your servers out and your clients and servers, because imagine like you making thousands and thousands of calls every, I don't know, some people call every 10 seconds, just for the hope that, okay, we are the, you know, latest uprised in sync. Mm-hmm. So it's making the whole change from pull to push and bringing some standard. So when you follow a standard, then you don't have to worry about, okay, today I have a development effort to integrate with this, 20 integration, 20 different setups. If you follow one, it's simple, everyone gonna follow the same, it saves time, money, everything. It's nice, neat, and clean.
Yeah, so the business side solution to this is to go and create a tech council, a sample tech council, where we get together, apart from the business side, across companies to go and just say, what are the standards for development in our industry? For instance, if you build a bridge, it's not going to be an architect trying to draw this up from scratch each time saying, let me go and see how much weight this can carry. There's shared knowledge. We should go and agree what Patrick touched on it too, shared business mapping, but also shared parameters, shared ideas that we go to poll instead of pull, many different challenges that we come across, and we can share information. I feel like this is possible too because it's a tech side solution, and developers tend to be a little bit more bipartisan and agnostic. So we could get together, find out some shared standards that will also just bridge all of this redundancy that we have. I've seen many integrations and very few look alike unless they were purely copied over from each other. It's either not like a shared standard, but just a clone. So what we need is shared standards.
That's our pitch for $500.
Yes.
Are we done?
Do we do questions now or later?
We give questions now if you're done.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to start?
Oh, I can start too.
I just want to get my guitar, sit around a campfire, and sing Kumbaya about shared standards. It's a lovely idea, but if there's another industry group that's working on shared standards, then I just don't see it. But I enjoyed hearing about it.
Okay.
Is that a question?
Cockroach.
That was not a question, actually.
Not a question, no.
There are industry groups that work on initiatives like this, but I think they're talking about something more practical, of actually instituting a plan of exactly how these API push calls would work. Whereas I think that sometimes our industry groups and standards, we basically put together a glossary of terms and then just hand them out to everyone and say, okay.
Are they going to share the $500 with you? Or
I got a side deal going on.
So
No, because we're supposed to debate each other against the merits of their idea.
So I would ask, aren't you just pushing the problem away from the sample providers and back onto the end clients that are typically used to doing a poll, and now they're going to have a push maybe every 10 seconds if your database is changing and they're working with 10 different vendors, you're pushing the IT load back on the end client who may not be set up to handle it the way a large sample provider is?
Well, let's go say that a quota only matters when it really reaches 0. So let's say this quota starts at 100. When it reaches 0, you tell everybody once. So for one quota, you say once, but for the 101, you have to go say it second by second by second as it goes and changes. So it changes from millions of calls to maybe dozens. I think the amount of efficiency change is actually going to be nicer. Anyway, even if the client is on the end, they're receiving these requests so frequently that's taking up their CPU. I think it's giving a net reduction in CPU across the board.
Yeah.
So are you talking about connectivity between sample suppliers for filling quotas, or are you talking about between sample suppliers and research agencies?
I would say, so we focus on one particular problem, which we think is a glaringly obvious solution that nobody's doing. But this council could actually go and talk about anything that comes before them.
Yep.
So one particular one, but not the final.
That didn't answer my question. Cockroach.
It would be first focused on sample, so people who buy and sell sample.
Yeah.
But we could go and extend it later on to researchers as well.
Got it.
I feel that you would also need like an advisory section of this council as well. It's not just about writing the guidelines and saying let's all kind of kumbaya, let's get together, agree on the same things. But many companies are already doing it their own ways. They're almost going to need to have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everybody is doing their own way, and that's the idea. Because if a survey is created into anybody's ecosystem, there is a semantic that okay, this is a survey look like. Why everybody's endpoint or the data structure should be different. If a quota changes, its quota changes. I mean, it doesn't have to be like 5 clients, 5 different type of structure. It's going to cost to everybody. That's the whole idea, to seed in so we can, on an industry level, we can scale tomorrow what we dream for. Because the basics has to be right. It will overbloat, and it will eventually end into the computes.
What about blockchain and AI?
Are we ready for it yet?
Why not just do this as a single entity? I mean, why just not do it as Market Cube and just decide to do it that way? I mean, does that give you a competitive advantage then, or is it really you need the entire industry to all of a sudden decide it's in?
We don't have to pitch that. We're doing that.
JD, imagine
We are doing that.
Imagine if you pulled your car up to the gas pump, but it only worked with certain cars.
I understand. No, I understand
This
the
is,
issue. I understand the issue.
the standardization, I think, is their key.
I know. I get it. I'm very skeptical about our industry.
Then you're the cockroach.
I am the cockroach.
Okay. I like him.
Okay. Anything more? Should we give the other guys a chance?
Okay, we're good. Thank you. They told us to be harsh on them.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks so much.
Good job. Good job.
Okay, where is the paradigm? Okay.
Should be Kumbaya.
All right, I'm Steve Danziger at Paradigm Sample,
And I'm Katie Sands at Paradigm Sample.
and we're gonna have some fun. Morning, Alexa. What's the weather like today?
Today it is 60 degrees and partly cloudy in Austin, Texas.
Nice. What was the score of the Manchester United game last night?
Steve, there was no game last night.
How did I get that so wrong? Do you have any surveys available?
You have 3 surveys available. Survey 1 is a grocery study, 5 minutes, $3 incentive on Amazon. You have a healthcare study, 7 minutes long, $10 incentive on Amazon. Or you have an automotive study, 7 minutes long, with an $8 incentive on Amazon.
Let's do auto.
Okay, would you like to take this survey by voice, or would you like me to push the survey to your mobile device?
Voice, please.
Okay, directing you to Auto Survey. Welcome to Auto Survey. What is your age?
27 years old.
What gender do you identify with?
Today I'm a male.
Do you or any members of your household work in the following industries? Agriculture, automotive, healthcare, market research, none of the above.
Market research.
I'm sorry, but based on your responses today, you do not qualify for this survey. Goodbye.
All right, show of hands. How many people in attendance today have access to one of these smart speakers at home? So I'm talking Amazon Echo, Google Home, Apple HomePod.
This really is not surprising because the popularity of smart speakers is growing tremendously. There's actually a market forecast done by Market Insights that showcases a growth of $13 billion by 2024, and this means over 100 million devices in American households by 2024. Not only that, Maru Matchbox actually just published a research paper that showcased that 25% of the general population is already receptive to doing surveys on their smart speaker device. And if you break that down even further, that means 40% of millennials are actually all ready to do this way of survey taking. So that is just today. Imagine where we will be in 2024 with 100 million devices in households.
As the way that we as a society utilize technology to interact with the world at large evolves, in turn, albeit slowly, has the market research industry. We've expanded over the years from mall intercepts and direct mail campaigns to phone interviews, KD surveys, web surveys, mobile surveys. Could smart speakers be the next big thing? Consider the benefits.
There are many benefits to having online surveys via a smart speaker device. The first being you are actually capturing the consumer in their home. This has several benefits. One of those benefits is that you might have a greater percentage of their attention span. They're talking to the device, they're really giving it their attention as opposed to doing something on the fly, having 20 different tabs open on their computer. And the other great benefit is you're going to be asking them about products, perhaps, that are in their household. They can go reference what's in the refrigerator. You can have them interact with certain products in their household. The next benefit is that it's a very engaging way to take a survey. You feel like you're having a conversation with a friend and sharing your thoughts and opinions versus just inputting a bunch of your, oh, I think this, I think that, on a technology device. And finally, there are actually ways to really increase quality control when you're using a smart speaker device. The first being that you can do really robust open-end data analytics through all the voice responses that you receive. And the second is that you can prevent survey speeders because there's a device prompting you along the way. So you can't really just click through the survey. You actually have to sit and listen to the smart speaker read each question to you.
So to operationalize this and get off the ground, we'll develop technology to allow users to create surveys, short, quick surveys that optimize for smart speaker devices. Once that technology is in place, we'll work with retailers of smart speaker devices, to recruit into a mobile panel that will then in turn be fed into the voice users. We'd flag these users, have them activate on their device, and validate that this is a smart device, their smart device, and then they could join the panel. And then lastly, we'd partner with other sample companies in the industry who already have these users flagged with their own profiling data points.
And another really important thing to think about is big data. That's what everyone's talking about. It's a really hot topic. So not only will you have the information from the online survey that's being told through these smart speakers, but you can couple that with all the data that's already intrinsically incorporated into these devices. You're synced up to all sorts of consumer lifestyle accounts through your smart speaker devices. So you can take all that consumer lifestyle data, couple it with the data from the survey, and create some of the most profound data analytics that the market research industry has seen to date.
So, the biggest question, how do we make money? All about return on investment here. The answer is pretty much a lot of the same ways that almost all of us here in attendance at SampleCon do with our companies. So we would go with the monetization of a panel asset. We would use the platform to allow our clients to generate surveys, then feed into our panel and our partner network. We would use licensing fees to generate revenue to existing survey platforms to allow them to integrate our technology. And as Katie mentioned, we would also be using big data down the line and partnering with big data companies, data providers. Obviously, there's a lot to work out with that in terms of privacy concerns and all of that. But down the line, that would be a path to also take with this. So in this futuristic world, what is more close? What is the closest to the consumers? And I think the answer is the smart devices. I know more about me than my family does. So using smart speaker technology and all the information available, we can get closer than we've ever been to our consumers, our users, and the whole wide world. Alexa, what do you say? Let's do this.
I say, let's ask the sharks.
Sharks, what you got for us?
So I think the strongest part of, I actually think you emphasized the wrong part of your pitch, to be perfectly honest with you, because in this situation for me, the smart speaker is just another desktop computer, right? What's interesting about this is actually, yes, please. How lucky are we?
Oh, this is a good one.
I'm doing every panel I can at Sample. The smart speaker is a desktop-rooted device. It's not. I don't know that it's especially engaging with people, especially if you sit there for more than a couple minutes talking to a boring computer. What's more interesting is tying all the passive data in there and all the big data. So I think companies like Amazon are already doing that. And I sincerely doubt that they would ever, out of the goodness of their own hearts, share that in some market research.
Well, I've got Bezos on speed dial. So
you're right. Good for you.
We're good.
Good for you. You don't need us.
I sort of agree with him, although I think we're actually working on Alexa surveys right now. It's a new tool in an old methodology in a way. I think it buys us as research companies and sample companies a couple more years of relevance. But not much more than that, right? We're just asking the same questions in a different way. I think the big data play, which again, Amazon's not going to give away, Google's not going to give away, is the bigger piece there. And start thinking about AI sitting on top of that, right? I think surveys go away. We were talking about survey writing earlier, but AI starts doing smart surveys and changing questions on the fly based upon how respondent X answered last week and how that product sold on Amazon. They're automatically updating those surveys through AI. So it buys us some time. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. It's just another quiver. I think you make a great Alexa. So.
Thank you.
Well done.
It buys time, which may be what we need as an industry more than anything right now.
Right, because then you could almost simulate qual work.
I almost think it's not about surveys anymore, and it is the opportunity for questions instead. So throughout the day, Alexa can say, hey, can you set me a 10-minute timer? Great, do you have time for 1 or 2 questions? And you answer 1 or 2 questions. Maybe an hour later, you're asking, what's the weather tomorrow? The weather is 60 degrees and sunny. Do you have a time for another 2 questions? And it kind of becomes a question rather than survey, and then throughout the day or throughout the 48 hours, you've actually asked the 20 minutes worth of questions.
Yeah, it's push instead of pull.
Yeah, exactly.
So Alexa is kind of a shared device, or even any of the home speakers. They're shared devices in the kitchen. Sometimes maybe they're in someone's bedroom, but for the most part, anyone can talk to them. How do you validate that the right person is answering your questions?
Voice recognition.
It's the voice recognition. It knows which account. So I share mine, but it knows that this is Katie, and it knows to order on my Uber account instead of my boyfriend's Uber account.
Okay. Alexa, how do you know it's me? I can't understand that question.
Are there competing skills today? I know Paul mentioned he's got something in the works, but have you seen competing skills?
Not yet.
We haven't run into any.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Why would the device manufacturer want to help you build your panel? Would they be sending an email out saying, hey, here's another skill you can try? You can make money with this skill? Is that kind of the idea?
Might help, I don't know how much this is valid, but it might help retailers sell as another thing that they could tack on, that you could do this with this device.
Yeah, and they could always pitch it as it's an extra way to interact with the device and even get an incentive for your interaction with the device. As many touch points as you can get with these smart speakers is what the manufacturers want. They want them to become more and more integrated with everyday life. So if you're doing a survey online, why not do it on your Alexa? It's just another selling point.
Okay. Any more questions?
Are you thinking it would also tie to the shopping list, so it would actually know you've purchased this particular product, Tide Pods? Are you then thinking
That's
it
the
would
goal.
push the survey on the actual topic?
Yeah, that's the most interesting part about it, right? It's not actually the vocal aspect of it. It's how much these things know. But therein lies the challenge, because that's all proprietary data.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Who's responsible? Can we just all have a round of applause for whoever's responsible for these?
Is that you, Jack?
Thank you.
Jack.
Jax.
Okay, last peacemaker. The last team is soapbox sample.
How's it going? Good to see you.
Hi.
Love the hair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good, man.
All
Looking
balls,
good.
yeah.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Shout out to Jacqueline for giving them beers right before I go on. That's awesome, right? So, and I would have to apologize, Paradigm, in advance, because I had a feeling someone was going to do it on your topic. So I kind of had something to combat that. Nothing against you guys, right? I did only come up with it 2 hours ago, though. Well, how you doing, Sharks? My name is Dan Parkhan. I'm Vice President of Operations, so I'm not really that good in sales, but I'm going to try today for Soapbox Sample. And I'm here to talk about home speakers and home devices that Paradigm touched on. So it is no question about those devices being a growing trend in households today. However, cited by Mr. Andrew Grenville and Rob Berger in the CES of SampleCon 2018, they mentioned that only 20% of households have smart speakers. And on top of that, only 25% are willing to do surveys on those speakers. So I'm here to bring you, well, we can all agree that smart speakers, when leveraged appropriately, though, can be a game changer, right? You know, we have issues with sample bias, possibly proprietary data. So what I have to bring to you is I'm actually crossing Alexa and Siri together to bring you SEMA. And what SEMA does is a proprietary home speaker that is exclusive to market research, where the respondent opts in to everything that they are a part of and are rewarded accordingly, right? So you have this smart speaker, you have SEMA, and you might want to connect your Netflix account to it, your Amazon account to it, your Vudu account, whatever it may be, in order to gain rewards from those sites directly through an API. You do with the same way as an application on an existing Alexa or Google Home or Apple Home, would have to ask them if their survey is available. However, based on that same research I stated earlier, there's a lot of bias in terms of only having those devices in certain households, and there's a bias to conducting those devices as well, right? You get rid of the opportunity to do grid questions, bipolars, Scales are not very intuitive. Alexa going to give you from 1 to 10, whatever. And it could be very cumbersome, right? So what you can do, or what my product will do, is drive you to where the survey is taking place. It could be on the desktop, on the mobile, on a focus group style intercom, where the moderator has a hub where everybody is kind of circled around their home SEMA devices and talking about a focus group type of questionnaire. So it also answers the question of us being lazy. Fellow investor Theodore the Wiz Waz said that our industry is lazy, right? So instead of having a product that we're latching on to other products, I want to create our own product and give the opportunity for all sample providers to go in on this product. So my actual business model is offering these home speakers for free, right? And monetizing on the data, both existing purchase data, third-party data, as well as Axiom and everything else that we could put on there, and the back-end data repository that both hosts and transcribes the data that's being collected on the SEMA or on the desktop into one comprehensive data file. I need $1 million for R&D, some R&R.
You need this more than I do, brother.
$500.
Wait. The best part is that if anybody's tired of the actual voice, right, it can be mundane, we do have options for voiceovers. And JC Sebastian, Andrew Cannon actually volunteered to do that for my product. So I think that might be it. This definitely answers a lot of what Dr. Well, let me see here. I'm sorry, I apologize. Like I said, I just kind of put this on today here. Let's see, Dr. Karen, I believe.
Not actually speaking well for his operational process.
Yeah. Earlier said that if she could only have two things, she referred to the Meatloaf song, that she'd be happy, right? So it'd be low cost, data quality, and being fast, right? So I believe my product answers all three. So you can have your cake and you need it too. I am asking for $1 million, but I'll take $500, and we can talk about it at the bar later.
I have $500.
Yeah, $500.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, $500.
Okay, got it.
So there was a television show, and I'll show my age here. There was a television show in the 70s, and it was like a variety show, right? And people would come up on stage, and they would do their act. It could be a comedian, it could be a singer, and they would get up there, and they would start doing it. And there was a big thing. It was a gong behind them, right?
This is not going to end well for you, Dan.
and if you got to the point during the pitch where you decided that enough was enough, there was a huge mallet, and you went and you bashed the gong. And that would be it, and they would get hooked off the stage.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Thought we had something with the hair thing. But
no.
I'm
operations background.
Yeah, I'm not.
Are you saying that he's going to get squashed by the other team? Like a cockroach?
Which cockroach is? I look at the whole thing. All that is let's take our current business model and plop a low penetration, non-portable device as a data entry mechanism.
Well, he's subsidizing. He's subsidizing the cost of the device with monetization from market research.
Right, and all the sample companies are all going to get together.
So the question is, okay, I have a real question while you go up. What does the device cost you to purchase?
Oh, for me to manufacture, you mean? Yeah, it's $30 a piece.
How much?
$30 a piece. I'm looking to manufacture.
That's like 300 surveys these days.
A lot of surveys.
Yeah. A lot of surveys.
You think it's going
to so I'm here to combat. I'm here to answer also. To overcome the obstacle of response rate, right? So earlier we heard about retention and response rate, and I feel like I know my product will answer that.
With 20% penetration?
But think about maybe you're not going after representative sample. I mean, it used to be Nielsen set-top boxes. You used to wear what were the beepers for radio stations? Arbitron. So it's not an out there concept. It's an updated concept of those of having a large panel that you're reselling.
Correct. Representation. Very
charitable. Very charitable.
Have you sort of thought about kind of the other utility it could give to that household rather than just being maybe a kind of market research repository?
Well, they get rewards, right? So that's kind of the incentive for them to have it. I could add stuff to it. We could put a pager to find someone's keys if you want.
He's losing money already. Why not just
Seema, where's my keys?
That's probably
Seema, where's my keys?
Right? 2.0, 1.2.
1.2.
Are we done?
Let the poor man off the stage.
Okay, you're done. Good job, Dan.
Good job, my friend.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, so we are going to meet on the side of the stage. It's only going to take us a minute or so to figure this out.
So you turn off our microphones, please, so that people don't actually hear what we're talking about.
The number of times we use the word cockroach.
Cockroach.
Okay, so while they are tallying their scores or arguing or whatever they're doing, I think we should turn their mics back on secretly, but that's just me. That's what I would do. I want to take a minute to thank all of our speakers today. I hope you join me in the sentiment that we had some super smart, thoughtful people up here on these stages. And in our collaboration rooms and labs. And I want to thank them all. Please make sure you thank them all tonight while you're having cocktails. If they said something that interested you, please let them know. Don't be mean to them until the second cocktail party. So the 4:30 to 6:30 were nice. 8:30 to 10:30 during poker, you'll have been drinking for 4 hours. Say whatever you would like. I wanted to thank all of our sponsors. I don't think this is all of our sponsors, but this is, oh, there's multiple, okay, I'm going to read them. So, go back, I didn't go that fast. Okay, Lucid. We want to thank Lucid for our media sponsorship, is that right? For the app and our Wi-Fi. And then I want to thank, P2 Sample for your awesome conference bag. You can bring that to the grocery store. Branded for the lanyard and name badge. I have no idea why I don't have one. Market Cube for the room key. Thank you, Market Cube. And Green Book as our media partner. Not entirely sure what that means. What is that? They help with promotion and they work with us to continue the conversation. Oh, awesome. Okay, so they help us with promotion to get you guys here and then continue helping us with that conversation we talked about that's tough for us for the ongoing part of the rest of the year. So tonight, 4:30 to 6:30, happy hour at the Rock House. Who knows where the Rock House is? It would be so weird if you did. It is here on property, but there are shuttles because it's in the middle of the golf course. And there are fun games, I hear. I'm super competitive, but I guess there's games and there's alcohol and there's food, which we seem to have no shortage of food. We're very hungry. And then you have a break from 6:30 to 8:30 so that you can have more food with people you want to. And then 8:30 to 10:30 is the poker tournament in the Wildflower Atrium. Are there spots left for poker or is poker full? Oh, okay, so we have 2 games going, right? Competitive, novice. What's the prize? $1,500. Holy baloney, $1,500. And we have 2 spots in each. I hope it was $1,500. Sorry, Mende. Multiple spots, okay. Tomorrow, breakfast, 8 to 9. All we do is eat. And then the sessions are going to be 9 to 12:45. And I do want to tell you guys that we have a keynote. We have a very special keynote that we've brought in. And I really hope that you don't miss it. We weren't sure how things were going to go in Austin, so we made sure that we just like had a kick-ass speaker to start us off on Friday morning. You're going to be really excited, I hope. We're going to give out some books to everybody. And thank you to Paradigm. Oh, thank you to me for the books. I'm like, thank you to Paradigm for the books. Thank you, Seema. You helped us get the speaker. Thank me for the book. And then we're going to talk, we're going to do our adventure into the dark web. So we still have a fun day tomorrow. Don't indulge too much. Do I have to keep going? Are you guys done? Whew! Okay, you don't have to listen to me until tomorrow morning. Good night. Good luck.
Good job. That was a good job. We deliberated for a very long time over there in the corner.
Yes.
And we do have a winner. But actually, I have a favor to ask. Did everyone receive a chocolate bar in their room? Did many people receive a chocolate bar? So my 10-year-old daughter was the one who glued those chocolate bars to the postcards. And I thought it would be kind of fun, since she didn't want me to leave the house and come to a conference, if I could videotape everyone just saying, "Thank you, Zoe," and then I'll send her the video. So we'll do that on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Zoe.
It was delicious.
Okay, awesome. That's going to make her day. Okay, so very, very good presentations. Thank you for the time that you all spent in coming up with these ideas. We thought that on the whole, as a concept and on the presentation, that the winner of the $500 is Paradigm and their Alexa surveys. Come get your $500. Come on up.
Now, does Paradigm get that money, or they get that money?
They get the money, right? Seema, you're not taking this, are you?
It's on them.
Are you going to take it after I give it to them? Okay. Wait, come over here with the sharks. And we'll...
There needs to be, it's like a 1099 somebody needs to fill out?
It's
or?
less than 600 and some dollars.
Wait, Paul, you got to look at me. 1, 2. Oh, my phone froze. Problem with technology.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
work,
Great
guys.
job. Great job.
Good work.
Good job, Alexa.
Great job, guys. Great job.
All right, the end.